YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Ham, and I'm coming at you guys with another video. Man, lately 2K has been extremely boring. The current gen version, it's literally just a copy and paste of 2K20. I mean, we already knew this. All of us just using it to pass the time, but man, it's been really boring. We've already seen the first legend within a month. Shout out to him for doing that. I think we've seen all that we could even possibly see at this point from this game, from legend, from the My Team tournament and that disaster, pro-am part, the events. We pretty much done seen everything. 2K21 current gen is boring. It's still got a community playing it, but that's mainly because of the anticipation for next gen. And that's what everybody pretty much waiting for. Now I know everybody won't be able to move away right away to next gen, but nobody really wants to sit there and play current gen all day, especially with the next gen version now. So as soon as we're able to get those consoles, I'm sure everybody's gonna go right away to the next gen version of the game, especially with all the different trailers and stuff coming out. Now we've seen some news come out about the game last week and this week again. Some blogs came out. Last week was mainly about offense. This week or today specifically was mainly about defense. So I'm going to kind of break it down for you guys who don't want to read all throughout the blog, because I understand that the blog is really long, so unless you really want to get into all of those, that different type of information, if that ain't you, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Now, starting with the one from last week, because that's the most past one that came out about the offense. You can pretty much summarize in the little parts, mainly like for instance the shot arc that came out. If you didn't really shoot with the right stick before, it doesn't really pertain that much to you, but if you do, it now adds an extra layer for you to shoot with the right stick, allowing you to now control the arc of your shot, sometimes making it fly, or sometimes shooting a higher shot, or what they would call like a rainbow shot with a pro stick, helping you to hit more rainbow jump shots and giving you some bonuses if you get the ideal shot arc and stuff like that. It's just pretty much 2K kind of adding on layers to the shot stick meter, so if you're a fan of the meter, I guess that helps you out. I know a lot of people was wary of the whole shot stick aiming because of the aim boost we've been using, but apparently 2K is fully invested in it because they're adding on layers to it now with the shot arc control, and now they also added the ability to aim your bank shots and have more control over your bank shots and whether it hits the backboard or not. They also even touched upon the meter itself for us more meter shooters, or the X button controllers, or the X or square, depending on the console you're on. So now they added this blue section which pretty much highlights the area of late to early. They said that if you hit the very early or very late section, that's outside of the blue meter, you pretty much just airball entirely. Whether it's a layup or a jump shot, it's assuming that you have timing on, you'll airball entirely. So be careful with the meter this year, because you don't want to be going out there looking like Donnie Green or like Paul George. So be careful with that this year. And they pretty much retooled it to be not just shots, it's also layups. So, and that's a different aspect that they added, because now they turned off timing and shot aiming by default for your layups. To where as long as you know the perfect timing of when to lay up and where to lay, you'll usually hit it. But if you do turn timing or aiming your layup back on, it gives you a higher boost to hitting the shot. But like I said, if you hit the very early or the very late window, you're gonna airball it completely and even possibly blow a wide open layup. So that's why they turned it off by default, that way you guys don't experience that. But if you're a competitive player, or even if you're a casual player and you want just a little bit of boost to your layups, they do recommend turning on the timing and the aiming, so we'll see how that is when the game officially comes out. They also added something for the shot creators in the game. We know right now as it is, the shot creators are OP in this current gen 2K21, the fadeaways. Not mainly because they're just greening the bunch, they just hit a lot of whites, like a lot of whites go in. Especially if they have the timing down for the aim stick. But they added in two different type of fadeaways or shot creator methods for the shot creators, different types of pull-ups. One which is more like a standing set feet pull-up, more probably what you'll see like a Russell Westbrook coming off the top of the key or something like that. And now they also have it to where you could differentiate between that pull-up and the fadeaway pull-up that you more see from like a Kobe or more recently a Devin Booker or Jimmy Butler. Kind of adding your ability to determine the type of shot creator you want to be. They also kind of fixed the 3-point line recognition, or supposedly fixed it based on what they're saying, because I know we've all seen it in the park or in the pro-am or on the My Team, whatever you play. You'll see that the player's feet is planted above the 3-point line, like it's dead on the line or above the 3-point line. It looks like a mid-range shot, and he just zips back to the 3-point line, gets a 3 out of nowhere when it shouldn't be a 3-pointer. They say they fixed it. Once again, we'll never know until we play the game. They also added layers for the dribble heads for the pro stick dribblers and the ability to kind of determine what speed you want your dribbles to be, whether you want to lullaby someone to sleep like James Harden and then get super fast with it, like James Harden or Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving in the past. Basically being able to control the speed of your size ups and your in and outs and your crossovers and your between the legs. They also added like what they're calling sauce moves, so basically the signature moves for specific players. I'm assuming you'll be able to equip this for like your my plays and stuff like that, allowing you to kind of add that aspect to your game. Maybe they'll even have like preset ones in that that are not based on NBA players. That way you get your own signature move. We'll see. They touched on the park handles, because right now park handles is broken in the park. I haven't experienced it because I have a lockdown, but I've seen it for myself where you're doing crazy rolling on the ground between the legs and other crossovers and nutmegs that you don't even want to do, but you're just the way they had the park handle set up, it was just completely terrible and forced you into it. But the same way, or the same aspect for the dribbling that allows you to control the speed of or how fast you go or your signature moves and stuff like that, they also added that for the triple threats. So like your jobs, your step overs and stuff like that, they also add you the ability to control your speed and how fast you want to go with that. The last thing they added, at least on the offensive side that they mentioned, is the passing. They're now once again adding the ability to do an off the backboard alley-oop, because that was previously in the game. And they're also adding in now the ability to do a bounce pass alley-oop. Something that was never in the game, which should be fun now for Park. I'm assuming that's going to be in actual game like Pro-Am and My Career and stuff like that. That's an assumption, because they even referenced that Curry did it with Giannis in the All-Star game, so it probably will be in that game, so we'll see. That's really all breaking it down for the offensive side of it. The next blog titled Movement and Contact deals more into the foot planting of the whole system and the movement on and off the ball and on defense, which has a lot that I can tell you. The defense in 2K21 it's abysmal. I'm not gonna lie to you, 2K. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the sliding on the court like you're on a ice rink is absolutely terrible. The shot contest system. Last year I felt it was OD with Intimidator. This year y'all did the complete 180 to where it's like Hall of Fame Intimidator. You right there in someone's face, you get a hand up 15% contest, and like it's way too greenable. Like this year with the contest system, you guys really went below the bar. Defense in general, especially paint defense, which is OP, because you could legit have made someone jump and you outsmarted them. You playing chess, they playing checkers, and you should have a basket every time, yet you miss. So perimeter defense is terrible. Paint defense is OD unless the person has a contact. Contact defense in this game is extremely overpowered. Doesn't matter if you're a bad, doesn't matter if you're a rim protector, doesn't matter if you're intimidator. Person has contacts, you have to run to the basket, hold X, pray for the best, and I want to say, and I'm being realistic, 8 times out of 10, that's a contact done. We gotta fix that. So in this blog, they kind of detail movement, body up contacts, or bump as we call it, and defense and stuff like that. Dribble movement, they kind of detail things like, you won't see stuff we always see in 2K21 current gen, where you're moving and your player just completely playing his own basketball game. You're out of control. You ain't even moving the stick no more. He's doing what he wants to do. They're saying things like that's going to be fixed. No more fading the wrong way like a lot of our friends like to tell us is their excuse for why they shoot a bad shot, or why they didn't mean to go that way, they didn't mean to fade that way. According to 2K, all that's going to be fixed. So anytime someone messes up, that's on them. They also detailed movement off the ball, like non-ball handling movement from, once again, as they keep on saying, the feet being planted to the motion, being more fluent to improve like things out, like aspects on defense, such as cutting someone off or blocking off their path or stopping the defender and not sliding all over the place. And like they're literally focusing on the things that they hear us complaining about, saying that it's fixed. That's why like they're making this game sound like it's going to be top tier. But I have deep trust issues with 2K. I'm not believing nothing they say to the player myself. they speak more about bigs moving like bigs and guards moving like guards, and then improving the motion stability and response, and how it's going to be more smooth and less twitchy. Like I said, don't trust 2K. You gotta play it for yourself. Just don't trust 2K. I already spoken to the foot plants and how it's going to be. They said they completely remove sliding on offense on defense, and instead it's going to be more subtle steps to get the positions, and you're going to feel the feet planting and things like that, and how footwear is going to be more improved, and for like accelerations for hard cuts, for like stopping to take jump shots, or to fake people out and drive to the basket. We are going to see when it comes to that. They also speak on body ups once again with like community calls like bumping a guard or just bumping a ball in general, on ball, and then they spoke to like off ball movements, so like screens and things like that, and how they're saying how the suck in or the vacuum screens are removed from the game, which is such a big issue with the game, where you could be just trying to go under on a screen or completely avoid a screen altogether. Next thing you know, you're being brought into a screen, sending you in a whole different direction where you were trying to go into. So they're swaying up and down. The dots be removed, and how the body of system of screens is way better, way improved. So we'll see when time comes for that as well. They also talk about this new impact system or impact engine they have for like contacts in the paint, contacts on offense and defense, which is much more responsive, much more logical for like colliding in the air and being able to finish reliably on defenders if you have the right timing and the right attributes and things like that. Being able to maneuver around the basket to get to where you need to get and maneuver around the court. Like I said, I'm going everything into the skeptical. I'm not trying to be biased against the game, but we've just seen so much things against them in the past, and I don't want to overhype next gen and just have it be a big letdown like other past games have been. One huge addition, which the community's been asking for a while, they brought in to this blog, and they talk about it, is alley-oop contacts as well as putback contacts. They state how their new system allows them to really add this aspect into the game, and how it feels and looks fluent. It looks, judging by the gameplay, it does look great, but we'll just have to see when the time comes for that. But it's great to finally have that addition added to the game. The next thing to talk about is on-ground contact for like charges and blocking fouls, and getting to the spot before the offensive ball handler. That way you can get a proper charge or a proper blocking call, and how that's been fixed due to, once again, the emphasis on the foot planting and things like that, and then no longer sliding. Actually, if something to the game is supposedly fixed the OP slashes right now, current gen and the Parker and Pro-Am or my team or whatever, who's just holding next to the basket trying to force the issue. They talk about how the cross system fixes that to really get just these, I guess, really hard contact animations to where they end up missing or falling down to the ground, and just like a whole crash accident that they say will help to discourage that mindset trying to force the issue into the basket. Man, slashes gonna be slashes, brain dead slashes gonna be brain dead slashes. So we're gonna see what happens in the game. Like I said, this is just Mike White giving his opinion, but Mike White don't seem like he plays in the community enough. The last topic they introduce is the PS5 trigger effect. So for the PS5 users, they talk about how they really utilize the different aspects, the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback that the controller has to offer, and how you'll be able to feel the hardness of screens, the strength of like body-to-body contact through like vibrations in the controller, and how having a box out or post someone up, how it's going to be easier holding L2 on some defenders based on their ability to defend your box out. Like, it's going to be easier to hold L2 as a center on a guard, but how vice versa, you trying to hold down a center as a PG, you're going to have to pull out L2 way more, things of that nature. It's going to add something to the PS5 users, so I guess that's viable. I don't think the Xbox users are going to care that much. Some people don't want to use it though, so we'll see how it is and whether it's incorporated into more games further on, whether people really need it to be inside the game, so we'll see. But that's all they really have for this second blog right here as well. All in all, we just gotta wait till we play next gen. You can't really go on people's word for this gameplay. They aren't even really giving us good, I want to say, videos or visuals to really try to go off either. We just have to play it for ourselves on like a demo. Probably won't be a demo because this game is apparently a immediate launch title, so it won't be a demo. But like whenever gameplay or whether we get the hands on that game ourselves, that's something we can really judge whether or not the game is as good as they're making it out to seem, or that the community is going to cry for Mike White to put in above 11 patches within the 4, 5, 6 months this game's even alive. Either way, regardless, this has been your boy Boy Ham, just trying to give you guys news on the new NBA 2K21 next gen info that they have coming up. If you mess with the video, you mess with the information, you want me to keep going, like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know that you mess with it. If you have any questions, both blogs, links will be inside the description for you to go look at it yourself. It's been your boy Boy Ham, and I'm out.